There is a long-standing battle between science and religion. What many people don't realize is that, at some point in history, theology was regarded as of preeminent importance and as a discipline at par with science, and sometimes above it, and even being called the queen of the sciences. People tend to forget that the word science comes from the Latin scientia and simply means knowledge. Modern science has evolved the meaning to mean the process or method of getting knowledge, and not the original meaning, which is the knowledge itself. If you read the Vulgate, you will find out that Scientia is everywhere in the Bible. The Vulgate is a late 4th century Latin translation of the Bible. For example, in Genesis 2, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil is the tree of the scientia of good and evil, the tree of the science of good and evil. Or do you know that the saying that knowledge is power actually comes from Proverbs 24 verse 5? It is Albert Einstein who is credited as saying, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." In this vein, NASA, the leaders in space, have a website called Space Place where they teach about science, space, and the Earth at an upper elementary level using games, hands-on activities, informative articles, and engaging short videos. Here, they say, when the universe began, it was just hot, tiny particles mixed with light and energy. From this, they say, the universe stretched and expanded to get as big as it is now. That's how they describe the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is the leading explanation about how the universe began. Because current instruments don't allow astronomers to peer back at the universe's birth, much of what we understand about the Big Bang Theory comes from mathematical formulas and models. Astronomers can, however, see the echo of the expansion through a phenomenon known as the cosmic microwave background. As a Christian, I contend that scientists may be right about the Big Bang, and then a caveat, but they may still be wrong at the same time. Christians say that everything was created by God, who is an uncreated creator, and then they leave the rest to faith. The scientist says that because you cannot have something from nothing, an uncreated creator does not make sense and refutes the Christian's explanations of the creation of the world. But the problem that the scientist faces is the same principle that he refutes from the Christian's mouth, because no matter how far back you try to look, if something cannot come from nothing, you still have to explain where that start or starting materials came from. With all that said, humor me. If the universe began with a bang or an explosion or a sound, it is possible that what scientists are noticing, the bang, the sound, the echo that they are picking up, may simply be the voice of God when he was saying, "Let there be." Here you have to keep in mind these keywords: heat, light, bang, sound, echo, expand, and the speed of that expansion. Psalm 29 verses 3 to 4 says, "The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The voice of the Lord is powerful." There are many verses like this all throughout the Bible that speak of God's voice as loud, strong, and powerful. Psalm 77 verse 18 again says, "The voice of your thunder was in the whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world." Again, let me remind you, keep in mind the keywords. A bang is a loud, sharp, and sudden noise or sound. So the Bible describes the voice of God as thunder, as loud, as a roar. It associates it, rightly so, with lightning. Now, the Cambridge Dictionary defines thunder as the sudden loud noise that comes from the sky, especially during a storm. There you can see those keys, sudden loud noise. And the USA Library of Congress expounding on the question, what causes the sound of thunder? They say, thunder is caused by the rapid expansion of the air surrounding the path of a lightning bolt. And they continue to say, as lightning connects to the ground from the clouds, a second stroke of lightning will return from the ground to the clouds, following the same channel as the first strike. The heat from the electricity of this return stroke raises the temperature of the surrounding air to around 27,000 degrees Celsius. Since the lightning takes so little time to go from point A to point B, the heated air has no time to expand. The heated air is compressed, raising the air from 10 to 100 times the normal atmospheric pressure. The compressed air explodes outward from the channel, forming a shock wave of compressed particles in every direction. Like an explosion, the rapidly expanding waves of compressed air create a loud, booming burst of noise. How many of our keys did you find in the above description of thunder and its sound? I am sure you picked up rapid and expansion, heat, electricity, explosion, loud, and noise. So as you can see, I still contend that the scientist might be right that creation started with a Big Bang, but he is wrong about what that bang was. The scientist cannot explain what caused the bang. He can only observe it. But we as Christians have the scientia of what that bang was. It was the thundering voice of our God when he said, "Let there be." When he spoke, the world was created. At his command, everything appeared.